I may have balls that up and pressed the wrong screen, but we got there eventually. Yeah, if you listen to this on demand and you're hearing weird whooshes and stuff, it's because I transitioned to one screen and then transitioned to another screen, and goddamn. But we finally made it into the starting screen of The Scoop. My name is Gray and this is Bib. Hi. Hi. If you're watching this video on demand, Bibby did just got discarded then. I mean, we absolutely just said, ha! And then he just sat there with
That's probably for the best.
If you are watching this on demand and you're not watching it live on Twitch, or you just joined us live on Twitch, then we have already had a conversation about Bibby wearing a Manchester United shirt. It's fine. It's fine. If you're thinking, what the fuck? Bibby's wearing a Manchester United shirt? You're listening to this on demand? Well, we're not going to tell you what the context of that was. You'll have to go back and listen to the pre-show, because we do a pre-show live on Twitch, which makes the podcast be a little bit shorter, smoother, straight to the point. So if you want to know, we're not telling you. What we will tell you, though, is that we do have 4 of the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories in the world of video games to go through right now on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. But it's not just about the news, it's also about, the conversations. We'll give you our thoughts and impressions. We want to hear your thoughts and impressions. If you are in the chat, if you are with us on Twitch, please do feel free to get involved, and then give us your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. And it would be pretty nice if you do that, because we are live on Twitch, but the live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon Music and Google Play. There is lots of places where over 200,000 people have watched and listened to this podcast on demand. So please do feel free to get involved on behalf of those. If you are watching or listening on demand, some of this information might be out of date for you, but if you get it quick, we are going to be live again on Twitch a few times this weekend. Are you going live tonight, Mr. Bib?
I most certainly am, Graham.
Ooh, what are you playing?
I really want to get into some Fortnite, so we'll see how that goes. I believe after watching Timmy for most of the day that the servers are a bit up and down at the moment, so if you get kicked, it might be like an half an hour wait time to get back in again. Obviously, I don't want to be sat there waiting half an hour. So yeah, we'll jump in, see how it is, and then go from there essentially. But yeah, Fortnite OG is back, baby. I've
actually been enjoying watching that. So today I've been watching Ninja, who I never really watched much the first time round, if I'm honest. I kind of did, but back then when Fortnite was big, the doc was playing it on Twitch and stuff, so I'd jump in and watch the doc or whatever. So anyway, in the years following that, from watching doc play with Ninja and Courage and Timmy Tenders and stuff, I've kind of watched a little bit more of Ninja, and he's the only one that streams on Twitch now. So I've had Ninja stream on today whilst being built in, and the hype for Fortnite OG will actually pick. I texted you earlier on, didn't I, saying I'm actually getting swept up with the hype for it now. I'm actually looking forward to playing a little bit more. So, whew, nice. So yeah, tonight, Baby will be what time? What time are we saying?
About 7:30, I reckon.
Nice.
It's whenever I can get the boy into bed. Essentially, Samantha's not here. Fire him into bed. And see where he goes. But yeah, he usually goes to bed between like 6:30, 7 o'clock. I can grab something to eat and then jump straight on. It's all updated. We're all ready to go. It's just a case of getting him asleep.
Nice. So 7:30 tonight-ish for some Fortnite action. And then if Fortnite servers are a bit skew, we'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. After that, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.-ish, I'll be live with some PUBG fun times. We aren't chasing crates with mates because we are doing a Double Trouble League special. You may have seen the tweet a little bit earlier on today. If you haven't, check it out on Twitter. Basically, it's reduced price, and we're trying to see if we can get a few other people on the leaderboard, see if we can mix things up as we get close towards the end of the year. We are giving away around 500 quid's worth of Logitech G items just for winning one game-ish of PUBG. You have the best game of the year, 500 quid. This is that simple. Yeah. Also, tomorrow evening, I'm not going to promise. I mean, last week I was thinking, I'll do a Saturday evening stream because Danielle's out, but then Chloe got the lurk, so I'm not going to promise it. Because last week I promised it, and then I didn't even promise it. I loosely said. This week I'm going to even looser say it. Tomorrow evening, I could be on with some extra content, which we'll see what that might be. I don't know whether it's just more PUBG, whether it's I don't know. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see tomorrow evening. So join us for the scoop now. Some Fortnite tonight, and then potentially a double dip stream on PUBG tomorrow. Nice. But for now, we'll talk about some video game news. We've got 4 stories, kicking off talking about EA and how they're benefiting from Microsoft's Activision deal, which I read the title and I was like, how does EA benefit from Microsoft's Activision deal. I haven't read the article, so we'll go through that one together. After that, we're talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3's campaign being live now. Have you downloaded it? Have you got it installed, Mr. Bibb?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. Also, we'll talk about Bungie and Destiny 2. There's been some layoffs and stuff this week, so I don't know if that's what that's around. We'll see whether I don't know if it mentioned any of that in there, so I've not read the story. We'll go through that. We'll talk about Starbreeze also saying Payday 3 is finally up and running, which is a good sign because, yeah, obviously they sent us some stuff. Is it behind me? Did they take it all into the office? Oh, no, the mask's up there. You can't even see it. But yeah, if you're looking to play some Payday 3, it's good now, yeah. So we'll talk about that and wrap up things with Free Game Friday. But for now, Mr. Bibb.
Yes.
Did you benefit from the Activision deal?
Ask me again in about 12 months' time when all the games eventually start to filter over.
Okay, well, we don't know about Bibb, but we do know from Chris Scullion at VGC that EA believe that they have benefited from Microsoft's Activision
is that not
deal.
what you wanted, Graham?
No, we wouldn't. No, not really, but nice. Andrew Wilson had previously said he was, quote, indifferent to the acquisition, but Electronic Arts, that's EA, obviously, CEO Andrew Wilson says he thinks Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard is a great thing. In an interview with CNBC, Wilson was asked where he stood on the deal and whether EA now considered itself a target for acquisition. Wilson replied that he approved of the deal because he felt that it would help to grow an industry that EA stands to disproportionately gain from. We feel really good about the industry, Wilson said. Earlier this week, I read an article that projected the industry would get over $300 billion in revenue by 2030 and nearly 4 billion players. Quote, so you think about us, the incredible talent that we have, the world-class IP that we have, the technology that we have, and a community of 700 million players well on its way to 1 billion or more. We think we're really well positioned and benefit disproportionately from that future. I think Microsoft Activision is a great thing. It means that one of the world's largest companies is going to continue to invest in our industry to help us grow the industry over time. While Wilson didn't address the interviewer's question as to whether EA was a potential acquisition target, he did instead say that EA wasn't ruling out acquiring new studios itself. Quote, as we think about our position as an independent developer and publisher of the world's leading interactive entertainment content, we feel really good about our opportunity. And to that extent, there are opportunities for us to be inquisitive. We would look at those where it might add new IP or new teams or add new technology, or it might add to our ability to grow the amount of people in our network and grow the engagement that they have in our network. And then back in May, before Microsoft's acquisition of Activision had been completed, Wilson seemed less enthusiastic about EA's potential to benefit from the merger, saying he was indifferent as to whether it would be successful. Quote, we continue to be Microsoft's biggest partner. I think we're the number one publisher on their platform, so whether that deal goes through or not is not really material to us broadly, he said in May. We think we have the scale with our network, our IP, and our talent to continue to navigate the future and lead the future of entertainment and compete in a marketplace regardless of whether that deal goes through or not. I mean, that for me sounds like the obvious shift in momentum. He says, we're Microsoft's biggest partner, and then Microsoft suddenly buys something massive. You're not going to go, well, I think our biggest partner done fucked up, and you'd be like, no, yeah. What our business partner did was definitely a great thing for us and for them and for everyone else. But that's my initial thoughts. EA believes Microsoft buying Activision is great for the industry in general, and as a result, great for them. What are your thoughts, Mr. Bibb?
Yeah, overall, I don't actually know the absolute deal. That it didn't really touch upon it in this. It referenced it, but it never really touched upon it. Like, I don't actually know what the deal is between Microsoft and EA. Because obviously you get EA Play, don't you, as a discount if you have Xbox Game Pass and things like that, and you're able to, if you wanted to, have the EA Play for 10 hours if you pay them directly. So there is a partnership there, and obviously they're saying with the EA games are one of the best-selling EA games, the EA properties, the one of the most sold for games on Xbox. So there is obviously a partnership there, but I don't know to what end the partnership relates to, because I'm trying to think now, is there any EA games that are exclusive on the Xbox?
Not that I'm aware of.
So it can't be that. It can't be that it's set in stone, right?
I know that they've had like there was obviously there's been platform exclusivity and preferential treatment with things like Call of Duty in the past. It used to be a PlayStation thing, and then it went over to Xbox, and then it went back to PlayStation. And there is co-op marketing stuff where they favour Xbox over PlayStation, like with Jedi Fallen Order. That was so heavily marketed as an Xbox game that a lot of people thought it was an Xbox exclusive game because you'd get it on the side of the bus with the Xbox green slate. You'd get the advert on Twitch with the zoom, like as a starting slate and an end slate of the thing. So I think it's that sort of stuff. I don't think it's that they will get exclusive content. I think they get exclusive co-op marketing treatment for a lot of stuff. But at the same time, EA, I was talking about Activision then when I was talking about Call of Duty, but EA do have similar sort of relationships with PlayStation and FIFA or FC as well. So I think EA are just very good at being a third party and using first parties to their benefit. But when you're so big with games that are so profitable, it's kind of by default that you become their biggest business partner. Whoever you work with, you're their biggest business partner because you are EA kind of thing. And the only ones that came close to that really as a third party were Activision. So, yeah.
But imagine, though, if EA actually got bought out by Microsoft and then they both had Battlefield and Call of Duty under the same roof and they became platform exclusive. Like, PlayStation will just be like, opening the door. What have we got in there? Oh, Mag. Okay, we've not had that for a while. Killzone. Half the people here aren't even old enough to know what that is. Like, they won't have anything left.
Resistance.
To be able to try
there was a lot of that towards it, yeah.
They will literally have to go back into the bottom of the barrel. I mean, Resistance and Killzone, Mag was also fantastic for what it was. Those games were fantastic. I've even got Resistance on my PS Vita. It would have been like one of the 10 games that I bought on my PS Vita. Burning Skies, I think it was called. It was a decent game. It was
Resistance Fall of Man was a good game as well. The sequel to Resistance was. It was like, we waited for this. I mean, that one we kind of gave it like a bit of slack because it was a launch title. What is this?
But yeah, they'll have to go digging around somewhere for a first-person shooter because they generally won't have anything. You'd have Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo all on the Xbox and PlayStation. Just like, what?
The thing is, though, I don't think you would. I think you'd get Call of Duty and Battlefield would just get wrapped up. I mean, I don't say that like as in, oh, fuck it, we've got a shooter and it's gone. I feel like Battlefield has been so underwhelming for so long, as all of EA's shooters have at first. They've all come out and been a bit like for so long that I feel like they'll go, do you know what? Like Microsoft, there's rumours, this has never been confirmed. Microsoft are rumoured to be like sunsetting the Halo brand, as in like it's not the big. Hi Milo, I think Chloe's just come in. I think the rumours to be sunsetting the Halo brand because it's weak, which is probably upsetting for Halo fans to hear, but it is because they've fumbled not only Halo Infinite, but the recent history of the game. They've just not done it the justice that it should be. But that's not just a Halo problem. That's a Microsoft video game marketing problem. The same with Gears and stuff like that. Some of their big IPs that they should be resting on and developing have fallen off, simply put. So I feel like they'd probably go, okay, we've got Call of Duty now. Let's just sunset Halo. Let's sunset Battlefield. And then in 5 years' time, when Call of Duty starts to fall off again, because it does, and it's not because Call of Duty shit, it's just because of, partly because they get stuck in a rut and why rock the boat? If you don't rock the boat, eventually the fucking river dries up kind of thing. So you move to a boat in another river. So when Call of Duty starts falling off, we go, okay, well, now we'll do the... He's back, Master Chief. And then if that goes off, then we go, okay, now's the time to bring back Battlefield. You wait 5-10 years and you get that sort of the rose-tinted glasses like, oh, we fucking miss Battlefield. Pretty much where we are now. Talking about Battlefield Bad Company 2 a decade ago, like, oh my God, some of the best years in gaming. But we're all like, fuck this Battlefield 2042. Even though it's turned its fortunes around and it's a decent game. Decent, obviously, not setting the world on fire, but a decent game now. So they wait 10 years and then everyone just forgets about the shit stuff, remembers the Battlefield 2s, Battlefield 3s, Battlefield Bad Company 2, some of the good stuff in Battlefield 4 before it then started to heavily drop off. And then you go, do you know what? Battlefield is back. So it would be intense, but it would be shit for FPS gamers that wanted variety, because all of your FPS would be in the different verticals within Call of Duty. You want a horde game? Well, you've got COD Zombies. You want a single-player action adventure story? Well, you've got COD Career Mode. You want battle royales? Well, you've got Warzone. You want a looter shooter extraction? Yeah, you got DMZ, and whatever else pops up. Microsoft was like, we'll build one of them Call of Duty, and that will be its own. Like Fortnite, its own self-sustaining industry, and I feel like it'd be harder for them to go from a shareholder perspective. Okay, let's invest another 100 million in creating this other IP, brand new engine, different stuff. Why would we spend 100 million, risk 100 million, when we can just put, I don't know, an extra 5 million in development this year and just earn another 100 million back on Call of Duty instead? Ta-da! So it would be good and it would be bad in that sort of sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. You've got Spider-Man. Exactly. Who needs fucking all of EA's titles, like, you know, the Jedi stuff and the Iron Man game that's gonna be coming, and fucking football games and Madden and all that shit, when we've got one superhero. I mean, don't get me wrong, exceptional superhero and great series, but yeah. Ads. Hashtag bring back Burnout. Didn't they do that, though? Didn't they bring Burnout back? Didn't they remake, like, Burnout Paradise or something? I'm pretty sure they got some remake love a few years back or something.
Maybe. I wasn't a big Burnout fan.
Yeah, for me, I didn't mind, like, it was Burnout, right, that had the mode where you crash the cars in a junction.
And you got a load of money for it and that.
I didn't mind that mode for a bit of, like, but it was the same thing as, like, playing I Am Bread. It's like, oh, this is fun and quirky and shit, but I'm not going to do it for long. It was like that kind of thing. So, yeah, no.
I Am Bread.
The reason I say that is because I was digging through pictures the other day and I found a picture from when I had to change I lost a forfeit on stream and I had to change all of my social posts to be my face embossed into a piece of bread, and had to keep it there for a week, and I had to delete all my bio. My bio just, it could only say Yeasty Boy, and I wasn't allowed to explain it at all. So every time I got involved in a conversation with someone, it was just a picture of a bread and Yeasty Boy in my bio, and I had to just sit like that for a week. If anyone asked questions, I had to just ignore it. I wasn't allowed to explain. So
that's amazing.
Fun times. Early ice cream uploads, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, the Callisto Protocol on PS5 is an amazing game. Why did I never hear of it before? Love it. It's basically Dead Space made by Crafton. And when I say Crafton, it was Striking Distance Studio. The people that made the original Dead Space for EA went out and did made their own studio, and they did that, funded by Crafton. It's a great visual game. It lacks direction in terms of, it feels like there's some probably overstepping, maybe I don't know if it's from Striking Distance or whether it's from Crafton or whatever, but like a lot of things, like the game's built around the gore and the finishes and stuff like that, and that stuff was like locked behind season passes and paywalls and stuff like that, which is naturally terrible for a game like that. There is no reason to add kill styles behind a paywall other than just wanting extra cash. If that's the case, just put your game up by £2 every copy and then amortize the costs across everybody rather than charging your hardcore fans more. Terrible. So it fell off because of that, but that said, from what it looks like and from all intents and purposes, it's a solid game. Looks great, but it's a solid 7 out of 10. Can really see the graphical upgrade, you can. And disco lights, okay, how about this for graphical upgrade? Yeah. We've got Wolverine 2. We have next year-ish, although it's not confirmed. It's got to be 2024, right? Though, right?
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, we heard about it last year, but they never confirmed the date, and we've not seen anything since then. I feel like they'll let Spider-Man breathe, and then we'll get Wolverine. I like the racing, taking people out, and the stun mode. Just imagine a new gen Burnout, though. Stunt mode. Yeah, like I said, for me, I've mentioned it a few times. I have racing game fatigue that I don't think I will ever come back from because I played so much racing when I was younger. I don't need it at all, and I drive a car now, so it's not the escapism that I need from real life. I've got traffic jams, it's fine.
Yeah.
So and it doesn't really resonate with me, but I would be happy for the people that want that stuff, because I know there is a lot of passion for Burnout. I know some people that used to work on Burnout back in the day, kind of thing. So there is probably a huge demand, not for me, but there is probably a huge demand for people out there. And if there is, I hope it's good and I hope they get it. Just want to make the most of my PS5, so looking fully at new gen games, trying to open my gaming horizon. Genuinely, one of my games of the year, Hogwarts Legacy. Obviously, there's all the controversy around that, so you choose whether you want it or not. We won't go into that now. We've spoken about that at length in the past, but in terms of gameplay loop, someone that's never really been into like an action RPG-ish sort of game before, really enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy to the point where I've sunk 40-odd hours into it, and there has been very few games over the last 3 or 4 years that I've had 40 hours of my time. So
yeah, you never finished it though, did you?
No, we're still playing through it though. Still playing through it. Not for the last couple of weeks, but like when PUBG would finish the season pass or something, or I'd done my dailies early on, I'd jump on and spend 2 or 3 hours in it on a Saturday or a Sunday evening or something, play through it. But PUBG doesn't have content anymore, so it opens the floor. There we go.
You say there was no battle pass for PUBG at the moment
for like fucking 8 weeks or something, yeah. And then
that sucks so bad.
It's really bad right now. Do you know what? I'll take the title off the screen. We're going to move on to an unscheduled story, which is PUBG's black market. So PUBG released something saying there's a black market coming to PUBG, which had like some of the stupidly expensive skins that you have to get from loot crates in the background of it. So you're like, maybe there's some sort of other way of getting it. And it is extreme. It's horrendous. We were talking about this on stream the other day, on Wednesday, and Nacho, and this is the thing, like, when I was trying to talk about it the other day, and I don't want to be misquoted on this. Nacho is a PUBG partner, so naturally would have a vested interest in being constructive around the video game that he plays. But Nacho is always constructive and honest. You can be constructive and say the game's shit, basically. And I don't know any PUBG partner out there that doesn't do that. They all do that. But like, sat in Nacho's stream, and it was hard for him to be constructive because it is so bad. And everyone else agrees the same thing. So Nacho posted something in the Discord the other day, and I won't go through all of it. I read it all through the other day. But basically, to buy one Chroma skin in dollars without the advanced pass through the black market, it will cost the black market add-on in the game, not just a weird black market out there, just to confirm. $638 to buy one skin.
Oh,
to buy it with the advanced pass, $420. So you pay for the pass, and you still have to pay $420 for the privilege of getting the skin. And that doesn't account for the fact that you then need to level that skin up to get all of the functions with it, like kill feed, skin, and like when you kill someone, their death crate turns into a fancy loot box kind of thingy, and so on. Just cosmetics, not changing the game, just cosmetics. One skin could easily cost you over £1,000, easily, per skin. As well, which is terrible. It's predatory business practice. But the thing is, PUBG hasn't been held to account, because PUBG has, for a lot of people, fallen off. For us, it hasn't. We still enjoy the game. It's great. But a lot of people don't care, so it doesn't get the column inches. So because it doesn't get the column inches, stuff like that, if that was happening in Call of Duty, that would be everywhere. But people don't really care about PUBG anymore, so they're going by unchecked, which is a shame, because that stuff is disgusting and should be held accountable. That should be held accountable. Absolutely. So, yeah, in the bin. Got Hogwarts pending to download. Just wait until I complete the few I have. We'll continue Dead Island 2 now. There's no Zelda to distract me. There's a lot to go for. There's some fucking gorgeous games on your PS5 and Philly Bloods. If he wasn't playing Pit Fighter or Game Ground, Graham would never leave Outrun alone. Yeah, exactly. And then from Outrun, it went to all of the stuff like the Colin McRae's, the Toka Touring cars, the Gran Turismos, and things like that. And by that point, I was like, Driver. Spending 6 hours in an underground car park trying to do the reverse 180 to get my fucking driving license.
I love that tune though. I love that piano tune.
Fucking banger, isn't it?
Oh, what a banger, man!
Yeah. So yeah,
Forgot about that.
It was probably the driver bit and like getting your driving licenses in GT, like Gran Turismo games, that probably ended me for my love for racing games, because that just kind of broke it down to, I can't be arsed with this shit. Just let me fucking drive. Why am I having to do this fucking shit? Obviously, it's a mission, but because it's a mission to do the missions, it doesn't feel like a mission. It feels like a test, and fuck that. Anyway, we'll move ahead. Talking about a game that we have a lot of fondness for on this channel, and that is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, specifically COD's Modern Warfare. Yeah, it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time. COD and Warfare 3. Okay, let me actually say that just in case anyone is like, what the fuck is this? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. There you go. Nice. The campaign early access is now live. So pre-orders can experience the campaign, including the new open combat missions, over a week before the game's worldwide launch. Full disclosure, we do work with Activision and Call of Duty in the UK as it's not called Call of Duty Partners. I've said this all the time, but we are basically Call of Duty Partners. The program it's not named like that anymore, but we are Call of Duty Partners. So take our comments on this with a pinch, because we have the game. We've both got it for free. Just letting you know. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 launches worldwide next week for consoles and PC, but pre-orders can access the campaign now. Activision has released a new trailer for the same, highlighting Vladimir Makarov, the new main villain. Check it out below. I'm going to hit play on that, but I will mute it. So if anyone wants to see cool visuals but doesn't want the story and stuff teased, and you want to watch it in your own time, feel free. So Makarov does several things, from attacking civilians on a plane to rallying troops in a hangar. In the meantime, Task Force 141 assembles with one mission, seeing Ghost and Farah sniping on a snowy landscape. Aside from linear story sequences, the campaign also offers open combat missions set in large maps where players can take different approaches. There are many tools available to accomplish objectives, whether it's going in guns blazing or stealthily taking out enemies. You can change loadouts via the Arsenal mid-mission or even commandeer vehicles. Multiplayer and zombies will go live on November the 10th, but you can preload those on the 8th. Head to a link in the article for more on the game and what to expect. So, probably one of the hypest story modes that they will be out all year is available right now. Obviously, it does cost a lot to get access to this, because you have to pre-order the game at full digital retail price. And I don't know if it goes across, like if you just have to get the cross-gen bundle, or whether you need the special editions. I know we've got the cross-gen bundle, which has given us access. Yeah. So either way, you need to pre-order it, which means you're paying full retail price to get access to it. But thoughts, Mr. Bibb?
Yes, I mean, again, you can take everything that we say with a pinch of salt, because we are
just call it COD Partners.
COD Partners.
Yeah, that's what I'll call it. Like, do the air quotes as we say it. That's the easy way. COD Partners. Nice. There you go.
Yeah. So obviously we have been gifted this game. The Modern Warfare, the 2019 version, was amazing. Loved it. Modern Warfare 2, probably my most played Call of Duty game in probably 10 years. This one is just going to continue. Like, the fact that everything carries over from Modern Warfare 2, super happy about that. Like, you've obviously complained many times about not having Ghostface available to you anymore, because the skins that you bought in the original are no longer there. But the fact that these are carrying over, fantastic. It hasn't had the greatest of launches, from what I understand yesterday, from people wanting to play through the campaign and the game just constantly bugging out. But we've seen that today with Fortnite as well. So there is always teething issues with games nowadays. It's not a case of whatever's on the disc is what you get. Obviously, there's always something that seems to be stopping it from having the perfect launch. But another Call of Duty game, I'm invested in it again. You spoke about having racing game fatigue. I most certainly had that with first-person shooters. I just couldn't be bothered with them anymore. But I think Modern Warfare 2019 changed the tide with that, and I'm again looking forward to another year of playing Call of Duty again. And I honestly, hand on heart, didn't think I'd ever be saying that again.
Do you know what? Same. I spent probably the most time I've ever spent in a game outside of PUBG was in Call of Duty. In terms of series, Call of Duty is probably my most time spent in a series of games of all time. PUBG is obviously pushing that close because obviously we stream it now and there's all the community stuff that goes around that now. So I put a lot of time into that now. But taking away the content side of things, up until that point, it was Call of Duty by a clear distance. So natural hype for this, especially the Modern Warfare side of things. I still need to finish fucking. I didn't go back and finish the campaign. Do you know what? I was talking about content side of things. I started the campaign on stream last time and meant to go back to it, but never did because I wanted to do it on stream. I'm going to be selfish and I'm going to do it off stream. I'm going to play through the campaign for 2019 Modern Warfare 2 and then go through this because I'm behind and I want to play through them all. I really want to go through the story stuff. So. Yeah, that's it.
I don't think they're that long. I think you might be okay
7-8 hours-ish kind of thing.
Yeah, they're not particularly long at all. And like your evenings, you could probably get it done on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Easily.
Just come in knackered, big bags under my eyes on a Tuesday. Yeah, I finished it. Nice. Just
Would it
Monday.
be worth it?
Yes. I don't play zombies pretty much, Azad. See, and that's the great thing about Call of Duty. We're talking about how it could be its own platform in itself because it's diversified so much. I'm not interested in zombies. That said, there was a trailer for the zombies activation in Call of Duty probably a month or two ago now, actually. Might have even been Gamescom sort of time, where they first showed some zombies content, and when you heard that zombie screech, like the sort of fucking that was from like fucking Night of the Undead or whatever Nacht der Untoten, the first sort of like Treyarch zombies thing, and I was like, oh, fucking that just sent me back absolutely to that little fucking, what was it, a petrol station or whatever you were, putting the fucking wood up on the windows, and then you went Kino der Untoten when you're in a cinema and so. Yeah, like I'd enjoy it for a little bit, but then I'd be like, nah, just fuck it, put me in multiplayer. Then I'd enjoy that for quite a bit longer, but then I'd be like, no, that's it, get me into a battle royale, and then I'd enjoy that until I'd become a hero, and then I'd be like, okay, let's take on some DMZ. And by that point, fucking the next Call of Duty game's coming out. So yeah, big nice. The only thing negative, like Baby said, was I actually kind of missed the start of that because it had noise behind me. I think it was Chloe going past. Was it about the install size? Is that what you said, or did you say something else?
No, saying about the campaign just like rebooting itself, like no one could get into the campaign for a couple of hours.
Yeah, the other bit that I saw was that because Call of Duty has COD HQ installed inside it now, which is like a central hub of COD that controls the cross-generational games. So if you want to play Modern Warfare 2 content, you can do this bit. You want to play Modern Warfare 3 content, you go here. You want to play Warzone, you do this. And you want DMZ, you do that. And then, if you want Modern Warfare 3, do you want the story mode? Do you want the multiplayer mode? Do you want the battle royale? All of that stuff, it's all kind of packaged in together. So basically, to download that game, it was 250 gig to download Modern Warfare 3. If you downloaded it in full, but you were downloading basically a couple of generations worth of stuff in that. So it's massive, but you don't need it all. Especially if you're going to do the campaign, download that first. Do it, get it gone, take it off. Job's done. Nice. I like on PS5 you can delete certain files to save memory, so I could delete multiplayer in the campaign and just keep zombies. Yeah, exactly. That's the COD HQ. That's pretty much why it's so chonky to get, because it adds that level of flexibility into it. So yeah, big fan. Okay, next up, let's jump over to PlayStation and talk about Bungie that tells Destiny 2 players, we know we have lost a lot of trust in you. This is written by Matt Wales over at Eurogamer. It says, amid reports of the final shape delay. So after a week that's seen significant layoffs at Bungie, as well as reports of a delay for Destiny 2's the Final Shape expansion, the studio has told players, we know we have lost a lot of your trust, and promised to reveal plans to take us all out of this darkness and into the light, end quote. Reports of widespread layoffs at Bungie began circulating on Monday and were confirmed in a statement from studio CEO Pete Parsons. Bloomberg later reported around 100 employees, approximately 8% of Bungie's 1,200-strong workforce, were affected by the job cuts, and that the layoffs followed internal warnings. Studio revenue was 45% below projections due to a sharp drop-off in the popularity of Destiny 2. Further reports have continued to paint a bleak picture of Destiny 2's fortunes. Pre-orders for the Final Shape are said to disappointing, while good rather than great feedback has reportedly led management to delay the expansion from February to June next year. While Bungie continues to be evasive where questions of a final shape delay are concerned, the studio's marathon reimagining is reportedly also delayed and now due in 2025. It's certainly interesting to read its latest statement to Bungie fans with these recent reports in mind. Quote, "We want to acknowledge the feedback and concerns you have about Lightfall in recent seasons," the developer wrote, "as well as your responses to the reveal of the final shape. We know we have lost a lot of your trust. Destiny needs to surprise and delight. We haven't done this enough, and that's going to change. To us, the path forward is clear," it continued. "We need to make the final shape an unforgettable Destiny experience. We want to build something that will be regarded alongside the best games we've ever made. A fitting culmination that honours the journey we've been on together for the past 10 years. Forsaken, the Witch Queen, and the Taken King, these are standard bearers we aim to live up to. Bungie insists it is intensely focused on exceeding expectations for the final shape and says that more than 650 team members are pouring all their energy and experience into delivering this epic moment and its subsequent episodes." Okay, we'll stop there. We get the idea where it's going. Destiny's not in a great shape. The content that's been coming out recently has been all right. Okay. But if you have a couple of 6 or 7 out of 10s when you are a games as a service title, 6 and 7s in a year like 2023 where you've got the best games ever releasing in a 12-month window, a couple of 6 and 7s back to back is going to drop off. And you do that whilst losing public face by a little bit of context. In 2022, Bungie were acquired by PlayStation and openly said, "Don't worry, this won't lead to any layoffs." In 2023, Bungie lays off 8% of its workforce, which basically is a lie. It's not a lie. Like we've said before, games brands don't lie like that. At the time of press, it was the truth, and a lot can change in video games in a year and a half. So it wasn't a lie. But for the public, it was. You told us one thing, and the very next year, you did something else. It was a lie. No, we're working on different information, but it's irrelevant. So they've lied, air quotes, to the public, and during that time have been providing mediocre content. So can one reimagined update change that fate, or is that too big a mountain to climb? What are your thoughts, Mr. Bibb?
Yeah, it's... the thing is with a game like Destiny, if they have a concurrent 100,000 players across all platforms consistently over 12 months, and then dramatically overnight it drops down to 50, like that is unspeakable amounts of content that's obviously been taken away. The amount of money that takes out, companies like this will work on how many people are playing the game. If no one's playing the game, then the studio will get shut down. If the amount of people just ends up going from 100 to 50, like I just mentioned before, they'll have to start looking at how much money they're spending to develop the game versus how much it's coming in. They won't necessarily get rid of everyone, but there will be substantial amounts of people having to leave the job. That just comes with it. Obviously, Bungie are a business. It's shit. Obviously, when you come out with a statement and saying like, we everyone's job's safe, we're absolutely fine, don't worry about it, and then things like this happen, it's having to rely on people wanting to play your game consistently with a game like this is where it starts to fall down. Because they can't keep up with the demand of people wanting new content, or they don't have the money to be able to put into create the new content. Like you've got to have the people there to service them. If they're not there, then unfortunately assets get stripped away. And that's essentially what I think is happening with this. Like Destiny 2 has been out a hell of a long time now. They just got towards the end of the campaign. I say campaign, i.e. the MMO kind of storyline. Like, are they starting to strip back assets because they're maybe gearing up for a Destiny 3 later down the line? Have they run out of ideas? Have they not got the funding to be able to put back into this game again? Like, there's a lot at play with something like this. You don't just lay off 100 staff for no reason. We'll probably never find the absolute reason as to why that's been. Whether or not Sony obviously wanted to bring in their own staff into that part of the studio, I'm not too sure. That's something that's been alluded to in various articles since this obviously broke. But
the only thing I will say is that I did see official comment from Bungie saying that this was their decision and not PlayStations. So I'd seen a lot of people going, well, PlayStation have clearly bought it and gone, okay, we want to cut some costs. But apparently this was Bungie's say so.
Yeah.
I also saw something else that was quite horrendous, but you don't really know. It was I don't know if it was The Verge or something like that, was saying the staff that worked at Bungie when PlayStation took over were given PlayStation shares, and those PlayStation shares were dependent on them working at Bungie for X amount of years.
Yeah.
And in the instance that they leave Bungie, those shares get defaulted back to Bungie. So that is potentially horrendous, that the company's gone, okay, we're not making as much money as we expecting. We thought we'd be earning 45% more profit than we had, so we're down. Okay, we can fix that, or we can bin people off to make sure we're good, and we also get a big pocket of cash from Dad PlayStation next year, kind of thing. So if it is that is disgusting. I don't know. I'm reading. I don't have the source in front of me now. Someone could probably find it pretty easily. It was a big news site in the industry. It's not like some small rumory kind of stuff. So if that is the case, that's horrendous. I don't actually know. About the shares, that's pretty standard. Shares would be vested as employees stay. Yeah, absolutely. I had the same thing in a company that I worked for, a financial services company. The shares were kind of minimal and didn't really mean anything when they give them to you. But if you work there for 10 years and they've gone up in price, you could be sat on a couple of £1,000s. Obviously, you can invest more salary and buy more shares and so on. But to give people those share options, I like 100%. It's like I say, I'm going off of media stuff. It could be moral panic. It could, like I said, take it as a pinch. It might be a case of something and nothing. But that was one of the things that was pulled out. It could be the shares are literally a couple of quid per staff member right now, so it doesn't change anything. But it could be a case of, okay, we could save a couple of $100,000, well, actually, for 8% of your workforce, probably millions of dollars right now, and we look to inherit a couple of $1 million extra as well in the future as well. So either way, not so good. Not so good. But, yeah, I mean, I think the thing for me is, I mean, I've never really been a Destiny player. I know a few people do. Like, obviously, we always shout Nico. Nico plays, Nico Di Maria. He is probably the biggest Destiny player I know. But even his content around the game has dropped off, which has to show you that if your mainstays are kind of like losing faith, then there's probably, it's quite easy to see that a 45% drop off in, I don't know if it was revenue or profit. I said one or the other a minute ago, but it was in the article. I won't dig back through it now. But having a 45% drop off, and having people dropping off content kind of go hand in hand. The difficulty that they have now, though, is to bring people back without a big song and dance. Obviously, they don't want a Destiny 3. They want it to be a games as a service that continues forever. So how do they bring people back in once people go, I'm done? It's super difficult to engage someone that has been connected and is now disconnected. A lapsed gamer is for a lot of intents and purposes harder to re-engage than a new face without doing a big song and dance. Destiny 3 pop. But then the other bit off the back of that is PlayStation committed to making games as a service the future for PlayStation for the next however many years. And it was something bizarre, like 13 different games as a service titles were in production. And I remember, what game was it? There was a big game that got held back. It might even be The Last of Us Factions. I could be misquoting that one. But a game got held back so that Bungie could have a look at it. And this is rumours. It was rumour at the time. It was never all fully confirmed, but it was like some people in the know sort of thing. Like, when I say that, I don't just mean like my mate who I saw down the pub. It was like, what's the Jeff Grubb kind of thing? Like that level of journalism, high level of journalism. I don't know if it was different, but it's that sort of thing. So stuff that you can rely on, but still have to take with a pinch. But it was like, if it was Last of Us Factions, it could have been another game, but it was about to release. It's been in development hell. It's not come out as quick as people expected. And so people are thinking, is the content not quite right with it? And then that tied up with the fact that Bungie were seen as the experts of games as a service. They're going to look at your content, give you a way to amend the game and bring it back fully fit for an audience that gives them an end game, so you don't end up like Avengers and just be like, oh great, we've got games as a service that doesn't really understand games as a service. But if your golden goose for games as a service, your consultant firm that's going to look at everyone else's stuff, is now failing as games as a service, does that change things for PlayStation and Telly? It'd be like, you're looking at my house, but your house is a little bit on fire. So, the bigger connotations for PlayStation and beyond are quite interesting. Nobody really knows how all of that stacks up. Nobody really knows who's forced the staff out or whatever. So it's an interesting topic because it can go off in a million different ways. Nobody really knows until we get, or if we never potentially ever get more information. We might never know, but until we get that information, we won't know. So at the moment, we're all kind of left to draw these mega conclusions. But yeah, okay. I do have a conclusion, and that conclusion is that I'm going to stop talking about this, and I'm going to go to me and go full screen because I know Bibby needs to get down. So
yeah,
we only have
go pick up baby.
Yeah. Stay frosty. We only have one more conversation to go through anyway, and it's not even a conversation, it's more just an FYI sort of thing before we jump into Free Game Friday. So actually I'll bring Bib back on, so I'll run through that, but for now, Bib, feel free to fuck off.
Yes, again, just before I disappear, thank you all, obviously, for sticking with us today for this episode of The Scoop. I will be back tonight around 7:30. Stick around on our socials. Just pay attention in the Discord as well. I'll let you know as and when we're going live around about 7:30 with some 2-week, aka Fortnite.
Yeah. Enjoy
all
the
right,
game,
guys.
Bib.
Well, have a fantastic evening. Take care, and I'll leave you with Graham.
And what they got to do, Bib?
Hey, Frosty! Tally ho! Bye, Bib!
Nice. Okay. Don't threaten us like that. He always does. Or, unless I did, then I always do. I don't know what the threat was. But hands down, welcome in. Also welcome in Aurora. Good to see you again. Hi. One more story to go through before we jump into a little Free Game Friday wrap-up, and that is... I can't find my browser source on this screen. There we go. Tom Ivan at VGC has this story. Starbreeze says Payday 3 is finally up and running as its first patch is released. The update includes a massive amount of fixes to make your heisting a smoother experience. That's the tagline. And the actual article says Starbreeze has claimed Payday 3 is finally up and running as things should be following the release of the game's first patch. While major server issues that marred the co-op title's September launch were previously addressed, fans had grown frustrated by an extended wait for the title's first update. Originally scheduled to arrive in early October, Starbreeze said the patch had been delayed after it found critical errors with its update pipeline that needed to be addressed to avoid the possibility of player progression being wiped. Quote, the first patch for Payday 3 is finally here. We're looking at a massive amount of fixes to make your heisting a smoother experience, it said on Thursday. We've republished the changelog in full below. The studio added, quote, after some instability, we're finally up and running as things should be. Heisters heisting, civilians screaming, and cops floundering. We've got a lot more cooking. Keep letting us know when you find bugs and sending us your suggestions. I'll stop there. Obviously, the patch notes are within the article. If anyone does need the link to it, you can see it's a lot of patch notes, so we're not going to go through this on the stream right now. But a big fan of this because, as mentioned, we know some good people working at PlayOn that have been covering this game. Obviously, they did provide us with an influencer box. The content for that is on YouTube if you do want to see it. But for all intents and purposes, not just our words as absolute corporate shills, but not really. But other people that we know, like Sheepfragger, has been playing some Payday 3 and had a lot of fun playing that game. So for that to be a lot more stable for the people that do want to jump into it, very much got a lot of time for that. So yeah. If you are interested, do feel free to check out Payday 3. No spawn. We've got no links. We don't get any revenue off that. Just it's now been updated and you can play. Nice. Oh, I missed that one. Working in tech is brutal right now. Lots of playoffs all over the place. Always QA first. It is. I was listening to a podcast on it the other day, and they were saying there is no right answer. There is no right answer, but it doesn't tend to hit. On my microphone, it doesn't tend to hit. Indies the same, and I'm thinking it's very simple, but it was a good train of thought, and that train of thought was indies don't tend to have to make as many cuts as larger studios, because the guy that's doing the social posting is the same guy that's doing the developing and the same guy that's doing the influencer stuff. Obviously, guy is just the word I went with. Could be anyone. But you basically have many hats on if you're working at a smaller studio. You have to, because there's a lot of stuff that still needs doing, but there's less people to do it. Whereas larger studios, you'll often get a QA team and an influencer team and so on, so and so on, so. And if you don't have that QA team working on a game, full balls to the wall QA stuff, and then the game ships, and obviously still do post-launch QA and stuff, but eventually that stuff starts to die off. If you don't have the next game in your pipeline in to keep them busy, then that sort of stuff does present you with issues. You've got QA teams just sat there going, oh, okay, now what? Your PR teams don't have anything to PR about. Like, okay, public relations, but we don't have to talk to anyone. We don't have anything to do, so we're not releasing anything. There's no content updates. If we talk now, we're just going to generate loads of questions. So PR doesn't have anything to do. Social media falls into a sustained sort of approach rather than, hey, look at us with all the content. So if you're a large studio that has a lot of hands that are left idle. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Idle hands. So you then naturally that starts to produce problems for you, because you've got people that aren't doing anything, that aren't adding to your revenues, and they would want to, but they don't have anything. Whereas obviously independent studios don't have that. And for me, I was like, well, it's a good take. It's a good point, but it's a flawed point, because independent studios do that out of necessity, and you get the opposite end of the spectrum then, where they're not doing anything. It's a case of they're probably doing too much. They might be more towards modern day crunch sort of stuff. So for me, it's not a case of an independent studio versus larger studio. In tech and the economics of tech and entertainment, then there is so much scope for the world to fall apart if your staffing and resource levels and your chain management, your planning is off, and that's what it is. But it's not. That's probably one of the hardest things to nail as part of the business. So, yeah, indies have their own problems. It doesn't lead to probably as much people being let go, but yep, they still exist. Getting AI to do all the work, everybody wins, apart from all the people that then don't have jobs. God damn. Yeah. Did you see the story on the finals, a game that I actually really like? They announced that they have a lot of in-game voices and stuff that they have just used AI to produce. And when you hear it, knowing that, you can tell it's AI then. But if nobody tells you, then you think, oh, it's just cheesy voices. But then afterwards, you're like, oh, that's why it all sounds like a 50s TV advert kind of thingy. So, yeah, interesting one. The AI debate is huge as well. It's so nuanced. I love the potential of what AI brings. I love how cool it can be. But my worry is not the AI option. It's the people that control it. It's like, changing it to a football analogy, VAR, the technology is fantastic, but it's shit because of the knobheads that are in charge of it. So that's the thing with AI. AI is phenomenal. Just even using Bing's fecking photo generation stuff. I was dicking around with that all last weekend when I was sat in the hospital with Chloe. By the way, Phony asked, and Tank messaged it as well. Chloe is fine, by the way. Thank you for asking. I missed that. I saw it and I thought I'd come back to it. Yeah, AI is phenomenal. The possibilities are wonderful. It's just the exploitative nature of the people that have the power. That's the worry. That's the worry. People have bias against AI before they even try it. We have it for training course. No, that's what I'm saying. AI is phenomenal, but it's not AI itself. For years, we've wanted the idea of working AIs to help us, but it's not the people that want AIs to help us. It's people that want AIs to replace us, not replace us in some sort of like fucking post-apocalyptic future where the machines have taken over, but places where people are undervalued so that people can be shortchanged as a result. Metaverse. Yeah, exactly. But no, it's like it is very possible for manipulative people, and we're seeing it in the industry as well. When it comes to things like voice acting, people will go to a job, and as an actor, a voice actor or actor in general, should I say, for you to appear as an extra, if you're a union worker, there are union fees of it's either $150 or $300 like per day or something like that. But there are contracts now where you go down and they basically stick you in a photo booth, do a 3D scan of you, and then get you to do some like voice recordings. So they've got your audio profile, and then they take your image and your audio profile and use you as many times as they want in future films then. So you get paid for one day of work, but then either it's a case of you appear in one film, but they can effectively make you do 1,000 days of work, but only pay you for one of them because you're appearing in all these extra scenes, or they can use you across multiple films, but only pay you for the once. And that stuff is like horrendous. I mean, the software is phenomenal. What they can do with that, nobody can tell you that is not phenomenal. It's the nature of the people and how they want to use it. So 100% behind AI, it's the dickheads. That we need to stop. Someone said the future of robots was doing all the manual labor, so we had more time to be creative and expressive. Fast forward, and we live in an age where AI is writing books, making music, and creating art, while we're all working in Amazon warehouses for minimum wage. Skynet is coming. And that's the thing, though. Like, if the robots are making all the books, and the robots are making all the art, and all the things that we want to spend our money on, it's like... we don't even have the money to spend it on because we're all fucking working in Amazon warehouses by 2030 or whatever. So, yeah, goddamn. Imagine this. They use Google Map where you move around a real world, but in a VR world, bam, GTA. I mean, that is Ready Player One sort of stuff, innit? That's what we all kind of want, like to disappear into a full haptic suit, fully immersive. Well, I say what we all want. A lot of people don't want it. I would love that. From watching, like, fucking Nightmare and other VR, I mean, it was terrible looking at it now, but watching VR escapism TV shows, I love the idea of just standing in a fucking 3D world and having a haptic suit so I can feel when someone shoots me and things like that, and so on. Do not sign me up for a running machine one though. I'm getting old now. I don't want to be stood in. I'll push forward on a button to do that. It's fine. I'm fine for that bit. Don't sign me up for cardio. But the rest of it, fuck yeah. I want fucking fans built into the underside of my VR mask so I can feel the breeze on my face and all of that cool shit. Yes, please. But I don't want it to come at an expense of, there's lines of people doing fucking 18-hour shifts day after day after day. Like we've gone back to workhouses from the 1900s kind of thing. Nah. I love the idea of what AI can do, and I'm excited at how it can assist and make tasks faster. But you're right, it's the dickheads that control it who think we can replace. Yeah, exactly. AI is phenomenal. VAR is phenomenal, but it's the implementation that is the problem, and it's the ethical deployment of it that is the problem. Remove the VR hardware and put the code into a human, and then we can become people in an alternative world thinking we live in a different life. We were talking about this in the office yesterday. There was something like, it was a conversation about basically like being able to download and upload yourself. Like, I can't remember what it was. I was joining someone else's conversation. It was like by 2090 or something, people predicting that people will never die because we'll get to that point where you can re-upload yourself as someone else. And I was thinking, what's that fucking TV program? Altered Carbon or something, where they put you on a stack and stick you in the back of someone else's neck. I'm not sure about that. I predict in the future there will be no countries. Instead, corporations will run countries. We'll start out of the USA, but it'll be the United States of Amazon. Touche. There's simulation theory, where we're part of a simulation, so we could be AI in a VR world. I don't think I'm equipped for this conversation. God damn. Okay, we'll wrap things up there. Before we do, though, we've got one more thing to jump into, and that is the Simple Free Game Friday. So on Friday, we tell you about a game that you could get for free.
Free Game Friday.
Nice. This story is written by Morgan Park and Lincoln Carpenter over at PC Gamer, and basically every week we tell you what you can get for free on the Epic Game Store and any other things. Usually Epic is the only one that you can rely on, which is what we have right here. November 2nd to November 9th. The name made me chuckle last week because I wasn't familiar with it. Bibby apparently was. But Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is the game that you can get for free right now. I actually redeemed it a little bit earlier on today. So the article says, on the Epic Store this week, we've got a unique twist on a classic genre. Does that say fist? Fist in Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. You play as a plucky produce protagonist, Turniop Boy, plunging through puzzle-filled dungeons to conquer every hero's greatest quest, successfully committing financial fraud. So there you go. If you want to commit fraud as a turnip in a 2D retro vibe game that actually looks pretty good when we looked at it last week, then there you go. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is the free game on Free Game Friday this week. And next week, that changes to Golden Light. Well, I say next week. It'll be Thursday next week. That changes to Golden Light. And we'll tell you about that next week, just in case you need another reminder. But for now, that's it. Nice. I've lost them. Wow, chat's gone. Could be. Prove it wrong. Exactly. I can. That's why I blue screened a second ago. Maybe that was part of the AI failing. I don't know. Fuck's sake, David. That's way too out there. It's way too out there on a Monday afternoon, to be fair. That would still make me blue screen. I appreciate the time and effort you put into the broadcast. Are you guys restreaming it to YouTube yet? Is it allowed now? We aren't, but we do upload it as a static video podcast, which often goes up on the same day. On a Friday, it could be next day-ish kind of thing, but we put it up as a trimmed down video. If you want to watch the pre-show, that's just on Twitch. We don't move that over. We just do that on Twitch. Eventually, who knows? We might restream it to YouTube and other places. The issue there is watering down your audiences and stuff, and what's the aim? Like, if you're going to restream, is it just so that you can get more people to view it? If that's the case, what's wrong with the people that you've got viewing it now? And so on. So, yeah, it's something we are open-minded to, but we need to fully understand the implications that it could have for us and so on. Like, there's an argument that more content everywhere is better. What can be worse than just doing it? But, yeah, we'll see. My brain just fried, exactly. Leroy, welcome in, dude. Hi. It can be restreamed now. It can be. Yeah, you're allowed to restream to multiple platforms. The only things you aren't allowed to do are to merge chats. So if I have Twitch chat and YouTube chat, they need to be separate, and I need to engage with both the same in that sort of sense. So I can't ignore Twitch chat and look at YouTube chat. As a Twitch partner, we have to make sure we give Twitch at least the same as what we do on other platforms. We could probably ignore YouTube, but then what's the point of streaming to YouTube kind of thing? So we're investigating the processes, that's all. Looking for collaborations and sponsors, what you are or we are. I mean, we have brands that we collaborate, like Insert Coin. This t-shirt, shirt is from Insert Coin. This is their PlayStation shirt, by the way. It's exceptional. GT Omega. These boys, good people. Nice. So yeah, we do. I mean, we're always open to collabs and more sponsors because, who's going to say no to free stuff? But only if it ties. Like, we keep getting Manscaped and stuff like that. Maybe, I've got a beard. It needs maintaining. But do we really want to theme our content around that? And we keep getting Raid Shadow Legends and... So yeah, maybe. Anyway, well, there's also the one electron theory, where there's just one electron moving so fast that it's creating a reality in the same way old CRTVs made the picture. But there you go. Dave, I mean this in the nicest way, but fuck off, says Forney. Exactly. My sentiments exactly. Okay, we're going to wrap things up. On that bombshell, just let me remind you that we'll be back this evening about 7:30, so in 2.5 hours-ish, give or take. And it's 2 hours, 15 minutes, but it's 7:30-ish. Tino Ban David. Bye, David. I'm back again. Nice. So yeah, we'll be back in about 2.5 hours-ish, give or take, with some OG Fortnite. Bibby will be going back to, I don't know, what was it, 2017, 2018, whatever kind of, was it 5-6 years ago, something like that? If you want to check that out, do feel free to drop in then. I'll be back at about 10 in the morning with some PUBG We aren't chasing crates with mates, but we will be chasing lots of crates with individual mates, as we're going to be doing duos games for the day tomorrow, where you can win some prizes! !DTL if you need some information on that. For now, this is the scoops for this week. If you want to get involved with any of the scoops for next week, you see some news that you want to talk to us about, do feel free to share that in the Discord. We have a scoop channel within there. All you need to do is just find any news that you think is good for video games, drop it in there with your thoughts and impressions, and we'll give you our thoughts and impressions on the next show, which will be at
10 a.m.
On Monday. Nice. Forney told me to do it. He's my boss now. He's no one mod. The average bus is 95 to 105 inches wide. Oh, it's gone. It's gone again because of all the links. I can't see it. No. Do I have it open elsewhere? Is it on this? Nope. Can't find it. We'll just have to... it's gone. The average car is only 70. There you go. Nice. On that bombshell. Stick around. I'm going to raid one of our friends. I'm not sure who we're going to raid yet. I will figure that out once I've thrown up the end slate. But have yourselves a beautiful evening. Hopefully you join Baby 4 OG Fortnite later on, and me tomorrow for some PUBG, and potentially even an extra stream tomorrow evening as well. I'm not sure. We'll see. I know I'm alone, unsupervised, so I could be streaming games. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, have a good weekend. Until next time. Stay frosty. Yeah.